Hi everyone, welcome to week 15. This week we're going to be learning pronouns and a new irregular verb. Alright, so we're going to take a look at pronouns first in English, then in Latin, and then possum. So here's a little handy chart from Grammarly, which I thought might be useful. We are really going to focus here in these columns, alright? You can kind of check those out if you want, but we're not really going to be dealing with those this week. All right, I just kind of included those there so you can see them and kind of get a little heads up about them. But those left two columns is what we're going to be looking at, and really we're just going to be looking here. Oh, sorry about that. We're just going to be looking here, all right, at first and second person. And that's going to be both singular and plural. All right. Pronouns in English are one of the few forms, really the only form, that change their form to indicate their use. Right. So if I say the boy sees the girl sees the boy, there's nothing about the form of those nouns to tell you what that noun is doing in the sentence. Pronouns, of course, if it's a subject, it's going to be I. If it is the object, it's going to be me. Right? If it's the subject, it's going to be we. If it's the object, it's going to be us. We'd never say us went to the store, right? We'd say we went to the store. And we'd never say the girl saw we, right? We'd say the girl saw us. You is a bit of an exception in that it is the same form for both the subject and the object. All right? So this is actually something we're used to with Latin. We know that Latin changes its forms all the time to show meaning, but pronouns in English are really the only time this happens. So those are English pronouns. Make sure that you're sort of familiar with those, or those are pretty comfortable for you before moving on to the Latin. And with that, hit the Latin. All right. Ooh, forgot about this one. Sorry about that. So just working with pronouns in English. All right. So identifying the pronoun, and then its person and number. Remember, person is going to be first or second for our sake. All right, at least for this week. There is a third person pronoun, of course. And then number is just going to be singular or plural. All right, so I'll do a couple. So you all is going to be the pronoun, so that's going to be second person. And that, of course, is going to be plural, and the all kind of indicates that. Technically, English doesn't have a separate second person plural pronoun, but oftentimes all is used to kind of indicate the plural. All right, I'm going to skip to number 3. So we is the pronoun, so that's going to be first person, and again, plural. Him is a pronoun as well, but technically we're not doing third person pronouns, so we're not going to worry too much about that one. All right, so I will leave the rest for you to do, and obviously email me if you have any questions on those pronouns. So here are the forms of the first person in Latin, and of course you've got the singular here and the plural here. All right, they are irregular forms in that they don't follow any declension pattern. They're just going to have to be known/memorized. All right. But there they are: ego, mei, mihi, me, singular; nos, nostrum, nobis, nos, nobis. All right, and there's an alternate genitive form as well. Don't worry about the reflexive down here. We'll learn that in due time. Note that nos, nostrum, nobis, nos, nobis, of course, is going to be plural because it is the first person plural. Sometimes people just forget that it's automatically plural. All right. So again, just kind of take a look at those forms. Make sure you know those. That is part of this week, is knowing those new forms. The first person for this one. Remember that ego, right, is going to be I. And then everything else is going to be me. The genitive will obviously be of me, the dative to or for me, etc. All right? And same thing here. Nos is going to be we, and then everything else is going to be us. All right? And that's that subjective versus objective in English, and of course nominative, and then the objective cases in Latin. The second person forms. All right? Tu, tui, tibi, te, te, wos, westrum, or wostrum, wobis, wos, wobis, and you can see some patterns within the irregularity. All right, we've got that I in the genitive. All right, and then we've got that single E in the ablative. All right, and then in the nominative and accusative, we've got that OS, and the dative and the ablative, that EAS that we're kind of used to. And again, don't worry about the reflexive down here. All right, so take some time to make sure that you know those forms. Remember that, and actually I'll go back. Same thing for you, but of course, as we talked about, you is often the same for the and the plural. All right. Right, so here are some examples. This is from a college, a pharmaceutical college in Moldova. Kind of interesting. But you can see the pronoun there. All right, so there's our ego. And the ipsa kind of agrees with that. In this case, it means myself, and you'll learn that in Latin too. So I myself burn, get excited, ardeo. All right, by enlightening others, lucendo aliis. All right, I think that should be an I there instead of an L. I didn't even notice that until now. Anyway, but yeah, remember that Latin does not need to express that first person pronoun. The ending is there, but a lot of times Latin will do so for emphasis. So the ego is the subject of that ardeo. All right, this is Johns Hopkins, which I think we've seen before. There's that vos, that second person plural. So veritas is the subject, right? So truth, liberabit, will set you free. Okay, and the will set free is just the whole verb. It's part of the verb. All right, so the truth will set you free, and of course, vos is plural, talking to all the sort of prospective students or viewers of the motto. All right, and this is DePaul University. There's our singular. That's not a great circle. Let's get a better color too. There we go. All right, so viam sapientiae monstrabo tibi. So I will show to you, tibi, the way of wisdom, or the way to wisdom, probably the way of wisdom. All right, tibi is the dative of that second person singular pronoun. So I will show to you the way of wisdom. All right, and again, just use those to get used to recognizing those forms. All right, so we're taking these pronouns and translating them into Latin. All right, go back and use the charts if you need to. I'll do a couple. Number one is a bit of a tricky one. With the preposition cum, for whatever reason, the preposition gets appended to the end of the pronoun. So instead of cum nobis, which is what it would be, right, that is wrong. And it becomes nobis cum. Right, and that is one word. That's why I wrote it so tight like that. All right. If you ever heard the expression like pax vobiscum, peace be with you, the vobiscum, right, is that same thing, the ablative of you, and then with the preposition cum. All right. And again, just do the underlined one. So also number 2, we have a third person pronoun, but we're ignoring that for the purposes of this exercise because we haven't learned that yet. I like him, but you, plural, don't. This is going to be nominative, and so that's going to end up being vos. All right, so I'll let you all do the rest. All right, here is a text. This is from a medieval poem. All right, The Miracle of St. Nicholas. All right, so what are the 2 different forms of the first person personal pronoun? All right, so I will do one. There's a mihi, and it repeats down here. All right, so what case are they? Mihi is, of course, the dative. All right, and I will let you find the other form. All right, so number 2, we haven't learned this yet, but there is a word for my in the passage. All right, I'll give you a hint. It is in the 4th line of this selection, line 69, according to the line numbers. All right, don't worry about it. We don't have to know it for this week, but it's always good to see kind of related forms in action. All right, translate the second stanza. This is on number 3. All right, so why did my unhappy father bear me, have me, give birth to me? All right, and the my, when we say my unhappy father, that is understood. The may is the accusative object of genuit. All right, so why did my unhappy father give birth to me? Why did my unhappy mother baptize me? And I'll let you do the 3rd line and the 4th line. All right, and mihi is dative because of indirect object with pribuit. All right, another text, the menagmi. We've gone over this a few times, or we've seen this a few times. All right, so we're completing the translation. All right. Now, some of these translations are going to go a little bit against what you might have learned, but just do what makes sense. So, for instance, my dress has been stolen, mihi. All right. We wouldn't say my dress has been stolen to me. All right. We steal something from someone. So, even though it's dative, it's kind of a funky use of the dative. It's going to be from me. All right. Menagmus comes back and says, your dress has been stolen from you. Same thing. All right. And I will let you do the rest. All right, so here is possum. This is the irregular verb, as I was saying, all right? So it is a compound of the verb sum, which we've learned. So you can kind of draw a line there, and you can see sum, all right? And then you just get this prefix, this POS prefix, all right? Possum means to be able or can, all right? And then it is used with an infinitive. And then I will add as well that it's going to be possum, or sorry, POS, when there's an S form, and POT when there's an E form, and you'll see what I mean in the slide. All right, so here it is in all of its forms, and you can see the S's, right? So POS before an S form, and then POT before an E form. All right, and bolded, you can see the forms of the verb to be. This is from your textbook. Those are familiar, those you should know, and then just add on that prefix. And it works the same way in the imperfect in the future, but of course the imperfect in the future all begin with E, so it's all going to be POT. All right, so poteram, poteros, poteros, etc. All right, and here's the infinitive, all right, and it's essentially a contraction of POS and essay, right? Instead of saying post essay, or pot essay, I should say. If you say that quickly, you can hear that it becomes posse, and so that's the irregular infinitive. All right, and so possum, I am able, I can, etc., etc., etc. In the imperfect, I was able. In the future, I will be able. All right, and then there's going to be an infinitive that completes the meaning. All right, so choosing the correct translation. All right, I'll do a couple for you. So poterunt, that erunt is going to be future. All right, are able is not future. Were able is not future. Will be able is future. All right, potest, that S is present. So he, she, it is able looks present. Let's make sure. He, she, it was able, imperfect. He, she, it will be able, future. So this is going to be correct. And note that not all forms are possum. Some of them are the verb to be for review, so keep an eye out for that. All right, so that one. All right, here is a possum text. So 2 forms of possum. All right, and they're the same form. Did you find them? There's potuit and potuit. All right, so what's the infinitive that goes with each of them? All right, so in this one here, it actually comes before. It's orare, and then spectare down here. All right, and then complete the translations below. So I'll do A, and you can do B. So Mucius was able to burn. All right, and then Porcena, potuit spectare. All right, here's another possum text. So tense of the form of possum in line 1. All right, so potero. Oh, sorry. All right. Sorry. Line 1. This is perfect, actually. Potui is the perfect, which we've not quite learned yet. Apologies about that. But potero is there. That should say line 2. All right. Potero. What tense is it? And it's going to be future. That ero. All right. And the infinitive that depends on it is per fere. All right. And then the upper right here, the difference between poteros and poteris. So there's poteris and there's poteros. So what's the difference between them? What tenses are they? All right, so poteros is imperfect, and poteris is, of course, future. And it's just that A versus the I that makes those different tenses. All right, so week summatives. All right, it's a little paragraph to read. All right, so I'll do a little bit for you. So again, make sure to read through the Latin, kind of make some mental notes or actual notes as you go. So decalion puri dicebat, nos duo turba sumus, habat catera pontus, hominum qua sola exempla manemus. All right, be careful of proper names. A lot of people forget that proper names have their own that use cases just like any other word. So Deucalion and Pyrrha are separate people, which you can see from the introduction here. All right, so Deucalion was saying to Pyrrha. All right, Pyrrha the indirect object, because of course the quote is the direct object. So Deucalion was saying to Pyrrha. All right, nos duo turba summa. So we two, all right, are all that's left. The crowd. Turba is the crowd. All right, so we two are the crowd. All right, the ocean, Pontus, habet caetera, has the rest. And you can see the intro. They survived a great flood sent by Jupiter, and that's what the ocean reference is. All right, so manemus, and this is one of the tricky parts about Latin, is that you have to understand what the subject is. So that mus tells you the subject is we. Your English brain wants to jump on that early noun and make it the subject, but of course your endings tell you it can't be, and the verb ending tells you the subject is we. So we remain, manemus. All right, we remain as the lone example of people. All right, so we remain as the lone example of people. All right, now we'll rest for you. Here is the writing, part A. So you're just going to translate the underlined words with the correct Latin form. When we saw this above. All right, I like him, but you don't. That's going to be our nominative. Sorry about that. Second person plural, so vos. All right, a few of us will stay. Genitive, of course, so nostrum. All right, and then I will leave the rest for you. And this is part B, where you're translating sentences into Latin. All right, the ocean will be pleasing to you. So Pontus. All right, and here's the important part, of course, to you. That's going to be the dative. Probably singular, but if you put plural, that's fine. So Pontus tibi. There's my dative to you. And then the future of will be pleasing, so placebit. All right, I'll leave the other three to you. All right, that is it for this week. Have a good week, and please email if you have any questions. Thanks.